Hello, this is Matt, and it's been a pleasure learning with you all in this spring cultural anthropology class. I got to enjoy some of this great weather last week when I went to the Portland Saturday Market for the first time, inspired by this assignment. According to their website, portlandsaturdaymarket.com, it is the largest continuously operating weekly open-air crafts market in the United States. I went to college in Eugene, Oregon, 2 hours south of Portland. Eugene Saturday Market is where the Portland Saturday Market started when two ladies moved from Eugene to Portland 50 years ago and started the first booth for what is now the Portland Saturday Market. To this day, all items are sold by the people who make them, allowing customers to connect with the makers and often see their crafts being made right there in the booth. Crafts include all kinds of art, including clothing, jewelry, food, blown glass, and much more. It encompasses about 3 city blocks of Riverside Park. I promise I own no stock in this organization and am unaffiliated in any way. This is a joke, but it's also true. I believe this market is a microcosm of the cultural makeup of this city. Just looking at the food alone in the market, it comes from Greece, Beirut, India, Guatemala, Northeast Africa, Nepal, Vietnam, Poland, and more depending on the day. I will admit, given Portland's 70% white identified, this is the most diverse area of the city I have ever seen. The food booths follow the same rules as the other crafts, and though I don't know exactly how they regulate this or enforce it, each booth seems to have workers that are in some way tied to the place the food came from. In looking at the food booths versus other craft booths, I found it interesting that race is only an issue with food. In other words, in a woodworking booth, say, it is only important that you know the craft you are selling, but your ancestry is not important. Instead, your skill and personal knowledge are paramount. Skin color should not matter. Although we tend to see a restaurant as more authentic if their workers look like the people where the food originated, I realize now that skill should be valued much more than their skin color. Although it would feel weird to enter an Indian restaurant that had only Caucasians working there, I would now feel inclined to give them a chance to impress my taste buds. After all, maybe these Caucasians were raised in India, or maybe they were raised by Indians, or maybe they spent decades learning authentic Indian cuisine. Skin color alone should not determine authenticity. The cultural capital they have is much more important than their racial identification. This reminds me of a rule in comedy that I go by as a comedian. If your joke is personal, clever, new, interesting, and relatable, you do not have to worry as much about being politically correct. It is important to respect people's differences and be culturally consistent, but the main thing is making people laugh, or in this case, making quality food that tastes good or otherwise producing quality craftsmanship that entertains, sustains, and sells. Sometimes the best Chinese food is made by a Mexican woman, or the best joke about trans people are made by Dave Chappelle. People sometimes get worked up about it, and it stirs up constructive conversations, and that is okay. In fact, I'm not sure learning is possible without freedom of expression, ethical lapses, and conscientious discussions about them. Not everyone is going to like every joke. The most important thing to me is that we keep laughing. If you lose your sense of humor, you lose your enjoyment of life, and no amount of diverse cultural appreciation will make your life worth living. This is my opinion. It represents many years of experience and personal growth. I hope you find it funny or at least interesting. But back to the Saturday Market. This market is a venue for the demographics that are underrepresented in Portland to showcase their existence and their unique culture. Given that the price for vendors to rent out space is as low as $13 for the whole day, I would say this price range allows for people without much means to participate and thrive. Technically, this market does not provide a large economic role in our city, as taxes and fees are kept small in order to be inclusive. This is intentional, as it allows for people that couldn't afford a brick and mortar location to get their businesses started and make enough money to get by. I have heard businessman types complaining that taxes are not being collected here, so it should be viewed as a black market and therefore not contributing to society. In my view, these people are selfishly wanting to keep businesses run by the same people they have always been run by, not realizing how much help they themselves got in becoming prosperous. Despite some business leaders fighting them, this market seems to grow more every year. The fact is, this market does bring people to the city and makes Portland a more fun, diverse place. And this indirectly benefits Portland economically. Given how white Portland is, this is one of the few places you can see so many different ethnicities. Food truck clusters are the only other place that compare. Buying things was the main interaction I had here, but since the sellers are the makers, interesting conversations happen about how their crafts were made, giving me a story about the purchases that enhance my appreciation of the items. I also met with some friends from Seattle who were visiting Portland for the food and the culture. When I asked why they came here every year from such a big city, which presumably has everything, they said that Seattle is so big that it has lost some of its charm. They also mentioned the Keep Portland Weird motto of Portland. Interestingly, a Portland Saturday Market vendor claims to have started this phrase decades ago. Although Austin, Texas started a Keep Austin Weird motto before we did, clearly Portland is weirder than Austin. This is not a joke. Just kidding. But more importantly, this motto, this truth, brings people to our city from far around regardless. This event encourages communitas in that it bridges the differences between Portlanders and encourages a sense of community that brings people together in mutual appreciation. I'm probably too old to think about pursuing a new career, but I will continue to do everything I can to enjoy this life, study, and grow as a person and as a student. As a lifelong student who has an interest in anthropology, this class will help me get into and understand higher level anthropology classes. A basic understanding of the approach of this discipline will be crucial to my learning and doing well in those classes. Trying new things and trying on other people's shoes is always beneficial and interesting. I hope to continue trying to look at things from other people's perspectives. Without this class's deadlines, it would have taken me years to get to the church that I went to for the earlier assignment, and the same could be said of the Portland Saturday Market for this assignment. I only actually motivated to visit them because I had a deadline to make. Fortunately, my plan is to be a student for the rest of my life, so I should have plenty of deadlines to motivate me. Although I cannot discount over 50 years of experience and simply accept new ways of thinking like I could in the first few decades of my life, I certainly benefit from youthful ideas, trying them on for size, and trying to see their perspectives. This class has emphasized the value of this, and my future endeavors will be less self-centered with a stronger appreciation for our others' perspectives. Thank you.